What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down Aaron Rodgers' deep ball throwing mechanics. We're going to be talking about why he's such a great deep ball passer and how you guys could take some key points from his throws to improve your actual own game. We're going to be talking about hip drive. We're going to be talking about leg drive and just all the things that tie into arm strength. Guys, if you're a quarterback and you want to get a stronger arm, check out that link in the description that says 4-week arm strength workout plan. It's an exact workout plan specifically made for quarterbacks, exercises that'll help your arm get stronger. We talk about leg strengthening, core strengthening, loosening up your hips, shoulder mobility, everything that you guys need to be a successful passer and be able to add at least 10 yards to your deep ball, okay? So check out that link in the description if you want to get your arm stronger, 4-week arm strength workout plan. Let's get started. So, number one here, the main thing I want to focus on in this is how much he's able to push and get his hips through and how quiet he's able to keep his front side, right? I think that's something that a lot of people on a deep ball, they struggle with, right? Because guys think that when they're throwing this ball 35 plus yards downfield, especially high school guys, they got to throw the whole freaking kitchen sink out there. They got to dip their head out. They got to swing their elbow down, and it pushes their follow through out. They got to lean their head out of the throw to get everything into it, when really that's not what the throw is. That's not how we throw a successful deep ball. And honestly, fellas, it's not about being able, if you don't have the strongest arm, like you can't throw the ball 65, 70 yards, that's okay, because it's rare that you're going to have to put that ball, especially at the high school, maybe even the collegiate level, you're going to probably be throwing at 40 to 50. That's probably the max that you're going to do if you get it up quickly and if you're able to put this thing with some air and let your guy run it down, right? So that's as far as you need to be able to throw it. Everybody asks me, oh, well, how far do you think I should be able to throw it? How far this, how far that? Can you be consistent and can you be accurate? That's what you need to be focusing on. It's not about how far can I throw it, right? Because it doesn't mean anything. If you could throw it far, so what? I know guys who could throw it 80 yards, but they can't hit a slant. So what? Nice, cool, you could throw it 80 yards, right? So put more emphasis, but this is something that if you struggle with your deep ball accuracy, this is going to help you, right? So you see when Rodgers is here and he makes this throw, you see how when the thing that on a deep ball, what a lot of guys get caught up in is because you arc that shoulder, is they let their weight stay on this back leg, right? And everybody loves to, oh, he's throwing off of his back foot, right? Well, yeah, he's very light with his front foot, Rodgers, and that's why when you guys see him throw a lot, sometimes that front foot kind of comes out of the grass a little bit, and you want it to be light. I've always been, I want that front foot anchored, but there are throws, and you're going to see it in the next clip that we talk about, where you got to get more drive from that back leg because you're off balance, so you want to be light with the front leg, right? So you see how when he's here, he's still pushing off this leg though, right? He's still pushing in the direction of the target. You see how he's able to get this almost like 45-degree angle, shin angle, right? Because that push is what creates the foot strike. You see a lot of people on a deep ball, what they do is that they step wide with this front leg. They'll step this way because they think that'll open up the pathway for their hips. But when you step this way and you point your toe directly at the target, that can swing your whole front side out of there. You see when Rodgers pushes off that back leg and he pushes off that inside arch, because that's what will get your momentum going straight at the target, it forces the front foot to come down, but your toe doesn't swing way open. And your front side ain't swinging way out of here. So your head's going to lean out, and then your shoulder's going to swing out, and then your arm gets pushed in the opposite direction, right? He's able to just rotate, and you want to rotate straight through with those hips, right? But you want your front foot to strike the ground, and you have a slight bend in that front knee. You're not striking the ground heel, then toe, so you lock out. You have a nice slight bend because that's ground force, fellas. That's what to sum it up, make a long story short, this is ground force. Push it from the inside arch, front foot gets down, you keep a slight bend, and now you're going to rip through with these hips. Now that's what's going to bring this football up, and you see Rodgers doesn't have the perfect 90-degree angle. He's a little bit tighter than 90, and he doesn't have the perfect 90-degree angle backstroke, but he has some kind of a backstroke, and that front foot's in the ground when he's in that opposite L angle, right? So now, his hips are going to be able to rotate through, and you want to keep your front shoulders square, right? You want to be able to drive this hip and keep your shoulders square. So you see how when he's here, he's ripping his hips through, and he's not just driving his back hip, he's also opening up his front hip, right? And now you see when his front hip's starting to open, you see how his front shoulder is starting to come through now. But what he doesn't do, and what a lot of guys do, is he doesn't continue to swing this front shoulder out of there. When he's driving through with his hips, he keeps it nice and square, and you see how he keeps his shoulders almost level and his hips level. You could draw a square with his torso. That's how we create torque, and that's how we have a consistent release point, right? A lot of guys on a deep ball will swing this elbow down, and that pushes their follow through up high and wide, right? And we're going to miss, like if you were throwing back to the left side and you swing your front elbow down, you're going to miss to the inside, right? Or you could miss, or you could just not get enough arc on this ball because you just physically can't get your arm up and over, right? So we stay square, does a great job keeping his shoulders level, hips level, front hand stays in front of his face, he doesn't swing his elbow down, and you see how his hip is able to come through before this football. That's the key right there. If you could almost get your knees like you want to bring your back knee and like you've got a can in between your knees, like you got a Coca-Cola can sticking out of your left knee. You want to crush that can with your back knee. That will help your hips get through a little bit faster. As long as we get my hips through before the football and I'm not swinging my front arm down or around, we're going to be able to have some torque and we're going to be able to have some snappiness to this motion and we're going to be more consistent, right? And now you see when Rodgers lets this thing go here, where's his follow through at? It's like it's vertical, right? His arm stays vertical because he knows when you flick that wrist on a deep ball and we're trying to get arc, and he's got great arc on the ball, like a lot like Russell Wilson when you see him throw a deep ball, that wrist flick is up in the air. Right? It's like you're shooting a free throw because that's how you get that thing to go up. That's how you get, because to get the ball to have some arc to it, if you arc your shoulders like he does right here and your hip drive is just natural, it will naturally go up and over, but you still got to flick that wrist up at the top. You still got to be able to snap this thing. You're cracking that towel like you're trying to hit the towel on the top of your house or top of a garage, whatever, top of a doorway. So you're cracking that towel at the top to get this thing to have that nice up and over, right? And you see how when he finishes, he's got nice stability with that front leg, even though it straightens on him, right? He doesn't keep the bend all the way throughout. It's a little unrealistic to try to keep that slight bend all the way throughout, but he has balance when he finishes. This is a great mechanically sound throw here. Now we're going to look at a game time rep after we watch that full speed. Just make sure we're staying square, okay? So now, when Rodgers makes this throw here, this one's going to be a great example of how his front arm gets a little bit more wild than the last clip, but it's the same mechanics. So we're going to be talking about that light front foot, right? Light front foot and how he stays square on the finish, right? So you see how when he's here again, what starts this thing? You see how he pushes, right? The push is what creates the foot strike. Push creates the foot strike. He pushes here, gets the front foot down. Now you see how when he throws that front foot, we're going to talk about this because this is a question I get asked a lot about Rodgers, is you see how his front foot kind of comes out of the ground. You can see it a little bit here. He steps and then it comes out of the ground like that. Reason why that happens is because anytime I'm a little bit off balance, right? But Rodgers is the best in the league at throwing off balance. Him and Mahomes, I really don't see anybody else that's even close in terms of these kind of throws. Obviously, in terms of these kind of throws where you're off balance and you got to make this throw quickly. It's so important that your front foot is light because you get more push from your back leg, but also it allows you to be just like lighter on your feet, right? Because these throws are not easy. So when he's light on that front foot and it kind of comes out of the grass here a little bit, it's because he's light on this foot so he could get more weight on the back one. It's because when you have a little bit more weight on that back one, especially when you're drifting out of a throw, you're stepping up, you don't have your feet set, and you got to make this throw. Because you see this guy all the time. He'll have his feet set to the left side of the field, and he'll throw a corner back to the right side. The only way I'm able to do that is getting some kind of drive off my back leg, right? Because your hips ain't there. Your hips aren't going to rotate through the throw, but you got to have the same foot strike and be able to create the same kind of push from the back leg. So you want your front leg to be light. I'm not saying you should be like 90-10, like 90% of your weight on your back leg, but like 70-30, I'd say, in these situations. So it's light. You still are transferring weight or shifting weight. I hate the way people say transfer weight because it gives the up and down connotation. Just a little shift in weight. You're rotating, but it's still, you're light. You're able to get a little bit more push off of that back leg. Okay. So now, let's talk about the finish on this throw. You see how his arm gets a little bit wide on this one, right? He kind of drops that front hand. He takes that football back. He's still got that nice clean backstroke. His front foot's down as that shoulder's quiet. He's not swinging his shoulder open. But now, a lot of guys, when they dip that front arm like this, they'll just keep it down there and they'll swing it down and their follow through will get pushed. But I want you to see how Rodgers finishes. He just almost tucks that arm right there. So he's able to stay square with his shoulders, stay square with his hips. And again, you could see it here. He's got his hip coming through before the football and he's flicking that wrist where? Flicking that wrist at the top like he's shooting a free throw and he's letting this thing fly downfield again. This is a great mechanically sound throw here by Rodgers. Make sure that shoulder closes as foot strike. You rotate through with your hips. Your front hip swings open as well. And you just keep those shoulders closed and your hips level at the target. Be able to draw a square with your shoulders and with your hips. How we get that air again. Arc that shoulder, flick that wrist up in the air. Let's watch it again full speed one more time. This is a great throw here by Rodgers. Great arc to it. Way to be light on his front foot. Way to be able to throw this thing off balance 40-plus yards downfield. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions on any of this, please don't hesitate to leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I always respond to the comments. And guys, again, if you want to get a stronger arm, a 4-week program, 4 weeks to add 10 yards to that deep ball, check out that link in the description that says 4-week arm strength workout plan, specific exercises to help your arm strength. I'll see you guys next time.